What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today, let's continue our god roll guides for y'all with another fail-safe weapon with the Faith Keeper Void Rocket. Now, this has our origin trait of the Radiolarian Transposer, so we have those rapid final blows cause targets to explode into those big old pools of Radiolarian fluid, so nothing too crazy about it, especially on this rocket. We're going to be using this mostly for the DPS side of things, but you can build it out for ad clear as you want, so that'll help us to proc that Radiolarian fluid, but overall, not that great of an origin trait, at least in my opinion. So, starting us out for PvE, let us go with the reload speed on this so we can absolutely juice that damage, like I said, giving us about 33 in the reload on this bad boy once it's masterworked at level 20. Now, because we are firing those slow tracking rockets that do a little bit less damage, I personally went with hard launch as our barrel went to the highest projectile speed with the lowest blast radius, I should say, just because we want the lower blast radius for single weapon hits or single target hits with this rocket, going to help us to do a little bit more damage, so that's why I went with hard launch for that aspect of it. If you're looking for more of an all-around kind of barrel or that ad clear side as well, even with the DPS not bad, volatile launch gives us pretty even in all of those blast radius, projectile handling gives us about 50 in all of our categories, so good option as well. Totally up to you in your gameplay style. Now for magazines on this bad boy, definitely going with impact casings so we can do the most damage. You can see increased damage on those direct hits, plus we get a little bit of stability, so definitely a goated perk for rockets for that DPS side of them. Now third column got 3 different options in my personal opinion that you can use to throw on here. First off, we got clown cartridge, very good option. Reloading the weapon randomly overfills it from reserves to an improved degree, so it's a nice little bit of chance to get a couple rockets inside of there for that extra little DPS. Second option is field prep, greatly gives us an ammo increase in our reserves, plus we have crazy fast reload stow and ready when we are crouching, so those DPS phases get this to proc and you are reloading super fast, so I do also like field prep. Last but certainly not least, we got auto loading. The holster automatically reloads our weapon after a short period of time, so when we have it away DPS rotations, throwing out Wither Horde, throwing something like other grenade launchers or snipers at enemies allows us to reload itself, and you can throw a rocket back out. Good for optimal DPS rotations like that. Now fourth column again got a couple different options. Explosive light is my #1 choice with that clown cartridge for the DPS side of things. Picking up orbs of power basically overcharge this weapon for blast radius and damage, increasing the stack up to I think ×6, so you can use 6 rockets at that explosive light for the juicy DPS. Definitely my #1 choice. Second on the list, we got bipod. Don't know if it's just a skill issue with me, but I personally don't like this as much, but a lot of people are raving about this one. So increase rocket launcher ammo and reserves, but reduces damage. Blast radius and a reload are also slightly decreased, so reload goes all the way down to 18 on this, so don't really like that. Plus, we do lose a little bit in that reduction in damage, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. I personally feel like explosive light puts out a little bit more damage in my opinion, but that's totally just a personal preference. I think they are about the same if you can use them to its fullest extent. Last but not least, for that ad clear side of things, I do like having this destabilizing rounds on this bad boy. Not too shabby for creating that volatility. Cooldown between activations is also a little bit less because it's an enhanced trait, so if you're building this out for ad clear, not a bad option with any of our perks in the third column. This one is a low tier in the fourth column in my opinion. Bipod, explosive light are definitely better because I use my rockets mostly for that DPS side of things. Every so often use it for ad clear, but a normal rocket is going to do that anyway, so that's why I like keeping those others on there, but totally up to you. Giving this thing probably around a 4.2, 4.1 out of 5 for the PvE realm. Nothing too crazy about it. I think we got better rockets for sure for that DPS side of things on those rotations, but again, totally a personal preference and totally depends on your gameplay style. Now, when we move on to the PvP side of things, I want this blast radius to be decently large because we're going to get defeats with this pretty easily, and it tracks, so it makes that a little bit easier in itself. So we want to be able to hit as many people as we can inside of the Crucible. Blast radius is our masterwork. Get those little extra boops at 20. Now for barrels, I went with volatile launch like I did on PvE for that ad clear side of thing. Gives us blast radius, handling, and that projectile decrease in speed, but that blast radius boost is so good. We have it at 60 on this bad boy with velocity still at 49, so good little all-around perk for this weapon. Magazine right here is black powder, gives us that increase in that blast radius again. It decreases our stability, but we're only getting one shot anyways in our rocket when we get this, so stability not really too big of an issue. We're trying to build it out for that blast radius as high as we can. Now this bad boy doesn't have too many options for the PvP realm. First off, we got amplifier with the impulse right here, massively increase our projectile velocity as well as increase our reload speed. So not too much for the reload speed side of things, but impulse amplifier for that velocity. They won't be able to get out of the way with that little tracking rocket coming at them. Now I know we've all done it once or twice by blowing ourselves up on accident by being close to those enemies. Danger zone might help you out there in the Crucible by having the blast radius of this weapon increase when you are surrounded by combatants, but it deals way less damage to you when you shoot it, so not too shabby for the Crucible. When you get up close and personal, run up inside of a well or a bubble, try that, throw it out there, see if you can live, but totally up to you. I think that impulse is better than danger zone IMO. Now in this last column, I really think that our only option is probably frenzy. Just being in combat gives us that 15% damage on this thing, so since you're inside of combat consistently inside of the Crucible, you're getting that damage boost pretty nice. So having that 60 in the blast radius gives us a beautiful little AoE damage because of frenzy 2 having that increased damage. So nice little combination. That's personally what I would go with on this bad boy, but nothing too crazy about this in the PvP realm. Again, like I said, just a middle of the road rocket. I personally am a grenade launcher or an LMG fan way more than rockets, but nothing too crazy. So I'd give this about a 3.5 out of 5 for the PvP realm. Way better rockets to craft. You could throw out the truth if you wanted for some insane tracking, but again, nothing that I don't have another rocket for that I can use both PvE and PvP style. So again, truly appreciate all that support lately. Y'all have been killing it. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe to the channel. Helps me out, helps the channel out a bunch. Don't be afraid to hit that bell as well so you can get the notifications on these god rolls as well as the builds that we create. Means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel as well. Really helps me out again. So I appreciate all you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.